Hey everybody, I've been taking NMN for the past 6 months and I'm making this video to give you a review over my experience over the last 6 months, in addition to some experiments that I've been doing in these past 6 months that I think you'll be interested in. Each day I would take 500 milligrams and I did that for the first 2 weeks. Eventually I bumped it up to a gram a day and that has been my daily dose all of these 6 months. At about 3 months into it, I started taking TMG along with that, and I also add resveratrol to this mix. Take a gram of resveratrol and a gram of NMN every morning, first thing, before any calories enter my body. I take that on an empty stomach, and I drink about a liter of water with that too. And in addition to that, I will take usually some fish oil or some olive oil, and that is my combination. That's my daily thing. With the TMG, sometimes I will take it along with my NMN and my resveratrol, but most of the time I will take it with meals, and I'll take 3 grams of TMG for every 1 gram of NMN. And I've done that without fail every single day for the past 6 months. Health is my life, and I do a lot of breath work, I take cold showers, I do heat exposures, I exercise regularly. So I'm not gonna sit here and say, the only reason why I feel good is because of these products. There has definitely been a change that I felt, especially early on, that I feel has carried over into the past 6 months. There's a phenomenon when you take NMN where you feel these waves of energy. And I felt the first wave, and that was awesome. They say that there's other waves of energy as your levels of NAD will increase, which is what you're working on when you're taking NMN. I never really felt a huge wave, but I constantly feel good, so I'm not complaining. Ultimately, when it comes down to taking NMN, resveratrol, TMG, a lot of these supplements that we take for longevity, we're taking them for the long run. But over the past 6 months, there have been a few times where I know that I was starting to come down with a cold. I'm aware whenever something is not right, whenever maybe my energy levels are a little lower, what is this thing? And so whenever I noticed these things, I was like, okay, what if I give myself double dose? The first thing I had happen was I came down with an ear infection, and I woke up one morning and my ear was hurting. And so it wasn't like it was just a subtle change, it was a pretty profound change on this one. And I thought, okay, I'm gonna try taking a double dose. When most people look at people who are taking NMN, they look at David Sinclair and they say, well, he takes a gram, why don't I take a gram? I guess that's the thing to take. I weigh probably 100 pounds more than David Sinclair. This guy is a small individual, I am not. So I thought, okay, well maybe if I boost my NMN, I'm gonna boost my NAD, maybe that will have an effect. No harm if it doesn't, I'm just gonna try it out. We're talking about a full-blown, I had an ear infection, okay? I took 2 grams a day, 3 days, so I feel as though it had a major effect. I didn't do any other changes. I was still taking 3 grams of TMG. I probably should have boosted that to 6, just so that it had the ratio right, but I guess I didn't do that. I still took the same dosage of resveratrol. I still took all the regular supplements that I take. I still did all my regular routines the same. The only thing that was really different was that I was taking a double dose of NMN. And like I said, in 3 days, I didn't have the ear infection anymore. Fast forward maybe a month or so, and I started to feel like I'm low energy. I'm really consistent on checking my heart rate variability, my 100-day review of NMN. I also take my blood pressure pretty regularly, but I was looking at my heart rate variability and I noticed it was a little off. I'm like, uh-oh, I must be coming down with something. Maybe there's some kind of a virus. I am around more people on a daily basis than the average person. I teach at a university and I'm also a full-time breath worker, so I'm constantly traveling. So I have more opportunity to come down with a virus or bacteria or something like that than the average person. So I said, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and try this again. And so I doubled up my dose. The next day I felt fantastic. Even on that next day though, I was like, okay, I'm still gonna take 2 a day. And on the 3rd day, I just went back to 1 gram a day. So I've done this now enough times to say, okay, there really is something here. There was another thing that I did an experiment on. You might have seen a recent video. I reviewed a massage gun. I'll link it up here. It's Bob and Brad's massage gun because I injured myself at the gym, and my shoulders are my weak spots, and I'm also a moron sometimes, and I just push myself harder than I should, and I had major inflammation all throughout all throughout my deltoids. It's a suck sandwich, really is what it was in my shoulder. I was out of commission and I couldn't, it was one of those injuries where I just needed to rest and let myself recover. I thought to myself, I bet I could take some extra NMN and get some speedy recovery. Now, in addition to doing NMN, of course, I was also doing mobility exercises. I was also using Bob and Brad's, their massage gun on the areas that were messed up. But I've done these things before. I've used massage guns. I've done mobility. I understand that generally it's gonna take a lot longer than what it did. I took 2.5 grams for the first 3 days. And then I went down to 2 grams on day 4 and 2 grams on day 5. By day 6, I was feeling pretty much back to normal. My friend, Dr. Nicole Woodard, she took a look and she did she's a physical therapist, did a full thing, and she's like, yeah, you can go back to the gym now, you're fine. I did what we call breath applied mobility. You can take a look at that on my website. I did other things that will enhance recovery. I don't wanna say that it was just NMN, but I've done those things before. And I know that they don't normally make me recover so quickly as I did when I was taking NMN in a higher dose. After that, I went back to my regular 1 gram a day dose, and that's where I have stayed. So I stay with 1 gram a day unless I feel like I need a little extra boost. Not only am I taking this for a longer, healthier life, but it's something that I can use to enhance recovery and immune function in the immediate term. This is not, clinical research. This is just anecdotal, but I'm telling you the absolute truth. This is what happened with me. So as I go forward, I'm interested to see how I can possibly use NMN to enhance recovery. Now, lastly, I will tell you that one of the things about any kind of longevity supplement is that you don't really know, right? You don't know if it's gonna make you live longer. It's not like whenever you get to be 85 years old and you die, you're like, I didn't live to be 100, so maybe I can get my money back. That's one of the risks of taking any kind of a supplement that promises you a longer, healthier life. The experimentation was really cool so that I saw changes in the immediate. But let's think about those long-term promises. There's more and more science that's coming out that is showing NMN is the real deal. There's a recent study that I'm gonna link in the box below, and they took rats, it was like lab rats or mice, and they gave them NMN every day for 30 days, and then they checked their telomeres after 30 days, for 60 days, and then they checked their telomeres again after 90 days. So they were constantly taking NMN for those periods of time. Now, telomeres are essentially a marker, one of the markers we can look at for genetic age. You can look at how much you've aged in your lifetime, not necessarily how many times you've gone around the sun, but how old you are when it comes to your biological age. And these mice were showing that these telomeres were longer. So it wasn't just stopping the aging process, it was reversing the aging process. It blows my mind and it makes me that much more excited to continue the supplementation. So there's my 6-month review. I'm excited and I'm still excited, and I'm looking forward to giving you more updates. If you'd like to learn more things that you can do in addition to taking these things, because this isn't the only thing you can do to increase your health span and lifespan, Dr. Elena Saranova and I put together an online course. We call it the Foundations of Longevity and Lifespan. You take a look at the link below. There's a lot of things you can do with your just everyday life to increase your health span and your lifespan. So I cover breath work, I cover some biohacking tips, even some basic mobility routines that you can do to increase your health span and lifespan. Dr. Elena Saranova, she is an encyclopedia of in-depth knowledge. Even simple things like how you can take better care of your skin, how you can avoid all of the different aspects of cellular aging. And she is a PhD in this field. It is really good information. So take a look at that on my website or one of the links below. If you want to take NMN Bio, again, you can use my links and you can get 10% off. I would love to hear more about how you've had results or what has happened with you taking NMN or TMG, or if there's any other supplement you'd like me to do a review on, I'd be happy to do those as well. Please like and subscribe. And guys, as always, don't forget to go out there and be kind to one another.